Things just keep getting crazier for this Florida Panthers team over the summer. The last 72 hours, there's been tons of movement in the front office. How is this going to affect the roster in the locker room, the coaching staff, everything from top to bottom in this organization? After I just did an episode on the great write-ups and poll numbers in The Athletic, that this is the best front office in the league. We're going to dive into what has been happening, what needs to happen for this organization to move forward and hopefully win their third title in a row. So much to get into, guys. So again, another episode about some breaking news with the front office. We're going to dive into this pretty much right off the bat. But before I get into that, and thank you for joining me on this episode of Panthers Digest, I'm Greg Andrews. Hit that subscribe button down below. You all need to stay up to date with anything and everything that's happening with your back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. But before I get into that, somebody said that the Charlotte Checkers, the Panthers affiliate organization, yes, they are ranked number 29 heading into this upcoming season because they don't have a lot of big-name prospects. The biggest one is obviously Mackie Samoskevich. Other than that, there isn't a whole lot of real young talent that is big-time, like you've seen with, in the past with Connor Bedard being drafted back in the day, some of these other big names. The Panthers haven't been able to really find these tremendous talents. Some of these guys are going to have to be developed. That's why you see them at number 29. So it will take some time for that number to go up. But who knows how that team will mesh in Charlotte as the season progresses. Who knows? Hopefully they will be great. But yeah, unfortunately they are number 29. But again, don't let that be something that's of concern because this team is going to be great for years to come. Remember, they have 10 plus players, soon to be 10 plus players, that are signed for the next 5 years or longer. And I believe Mackie Samoskevich will be one of those guys. Same thing with Ito Luostarinen. Several players I think they will start to extend after this season is done. And then as we move forward with future seasons. So anyways, this is what has happened, guys. The big breaking news, and like I said, the irony, my goodness, of me doing my last episode discussing how great this front office is. It's the best in the NHL, probably one of the best in all of sports. Well, there's been a pretty big shakeup. The Viola family is celebrating Matt Caldwell's leadership. For those of you who do not know, he's the president and CEO, or was the president and CEO of the Florida Panthers. He literally just decided that he was no longer going to be in that position with this organization. He decided that he wanted to leave and start to work with the Timberwolves and the Lynx of the NBA. Literally, he's going to be riding on the coattails, I believe, as Alex Rodriguez and just moving on to bigger, better things, a lot more money involved. So it's a big opportunity for him. And one of the things I want people to understand, there are some individuals out there being like, oh, something's happening, bad news for the Panthers. Oh, it's the organization's not as good as people think. That is not what happened. In any organization, in any business, guys, what happens is bigger, better opportunities will present themselves. And when they do, obviously, you want to take a bigger, better role for a bigger organization. The NHL financially is not the biggest in terms of revenue, things like that. They're on the lower end of the totem pole when it comes to the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball. Those three sports are above the NHL still. The NBA has the second highest revenue right behind the NFL. That is why Matt Caldwell left, and that's also why Sean Thornton has left the organization as well. He was the CRO. He ended up going to the Atlanta Hawks, and he's taking their senior VP position and their chief partnership officer position. Guys are just leaving bigger opportunities to further their careers in a bigger league. That is what is happening. And the thing that I want people to see here is the Viola family is celebrating these guys. It's bittersweet, absolutely. I'm going to read to you some of the things that Vincent Viola has said about Matt Caldwell and his tenure here because, and I want to get this really straight with you guys. I was not saying in my last episode that the Viola family, it doesn't start with them. I said that weeks ago that it really starts with them, but I was literally only talking about the front office, not the ownership. Only the front office. I was discounting the Viola family because I've already talked about them. Yes, it starts with ownership. They said they will do anything and everything to make this franchise a winning franchise, and they have done just that. I talked about them putting the money into rebuilding the War Memorial. and having this beautiful, beautiful facility. And he did that. They put in millions and millions of their own dollars to have this beautiful facility for the Panthers to practice in. They said, spend every penny you can to build a phenomenal roster, Bill. They did that. Bill Zito took the reins. But this man behind the scenes has made so many other things happen. And we'll get into that in a second. But this is what Vincent Viola has said. Since joining the Panthers in 2014, Matt has led by example, serving our employees, clients, fans, and South Florida community with passion and professionalism. His determination drove our franchise turnaround and helped install a culture of excellence, and now he is ready for his next challenge. But that's not the end of this quote. I had to break it up in two because it is very long. There are very few opportunities I would advise him to pursue, but working with Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lore on a global platform like the NBA is at the top of that list. It's tremendously bittersweet for our family, but we recognize that this is an exceptional opportunity and great next step in his career. Matt's impact on our organization has been immeasurable, and he leaves with our respect and gratitude. So I want everybody to understand it's a mutual parting of ways. There is nothing that is anger driven or anything like that. He is pursuing a better job opportunity. Yeah, he's in an organization that could win their third Stanley Cup in a row. They have the best chances to do it in the salary cap era and since the 1980s. But still, bigger platform to be on. Much bigger platform. For those of you who want to look up the numbers, go look at the average revenue per year that the NBA generates compared to the NHL. Why wouldn't he want to be part of an organization that is growing and much, much grander of a scale? Like I said, it's global scale. The NHL is global, but not on the same kind of platform that the NBA or the NFL is. Average fan base per league, you can't compare the NBA to the NHL. I'm sorry to say it, guys. I hate to say that because I love hockey, but that's just the nature of the beast. There's a lot more money in the NHL, in the NBA, in the NFL than there is in the NHL right now, but it is growing. The NHL is growing. It is reaching further into the global scale, but it's going to take more time to develop. It just hasn't gotten to that point yet. So anyways, getting back into this, guys. So Sean Thornton has left. I already just said that. So the guy, first of all, replacing Matt Caldwell will be Rob Stevenson. He was the EVP. He's going to be replacing Matt Caldwell right now. And Mike Viola, that's the alternate governor. He is Vinny Viola's son. He's going to oversee the search for the president of business operations. So right now, like I said, Rob Stevenson will technically place Matt Caldwell's position. He will still oversee the EVP stuff. And for Sean Thornton, who is going to the Atlanta Hawks, as I said, Mark Zarther will take his spot, and he was the chief strategy officer. But they also did lose Bryce Hallweg, the COO of the Florida Panthers. So we're seeing guys leave the organization, unfortunately. The good thing is they believe they have some other people down the line that are being promoted, the gentleman I just spoke of, and they're still searching for others, that will take their place. I don't see this being a tremendous problem, but I'm going to run you through some of the things that Matt Caldwell has done for this organization since he came in. I mean, there's a lot here, guys, so bear with me for a minute, okay? Top-level business management is what he was. He joined in 2014, was here for the dark years, he was here for the great years. He literally took us from the bottom dwellers of the league to now what looks like to be a dynasty. Unbelievable job by him. And the things that he has done, he was the COO and became the CEO after just 2 years of working the organization. So his hard work, and man, the guy has accolades upon accolades in terms of, he went to Northwestern University School of Law. He was at, excuse me for doing this, he was in the U.S. Army. He graduated from West Point, served 5 years as the captain of the U.S. Army. I mean, the guy's had a tremendous career collegiately, getting his master's, all of that stuff, becoming, getting into the legal field, all of that. So he's done so much, and he helped form the front office staff. He actually was all in favor of hiring Bill Zito and helped get him hired in 2020. He also set a franchise record in ticket sales, TV viewership, sponsor revenue, and led to the hiring, like I said, of Bill Zito. He also supported the sale of the local media rights to Bally Sports in 2022, the naming rights of the arena, which is Amerant Bank Arena in 2023, and media sales to Scripps Sports in 2024. So he has done a ton to expand hockey in the state of Florida. He's also been a very integral figure inside the locker room to hold things together as a leader, as a manager, if you will. A lot of these big names, like Sean Thornton, played for the Panthers. He retired, I believe it was in 2019, I think, and had a tremendous career and was in the front office and did some big things here as well. So, this whole shakedown that people are making a big deal out of, I don't really see it being that, because there are other guys that are going to step up. And one of those guys that is rumored that will have a big part of this, because he's such a natural leader and he's been in the league for so long, I'm going to tell you right now, is this gentleman. Nope, not that. That man. Brad Marchand. Everybody is saying, with the loss of Matt Caldwell, Sean Thornton, where's the real big-time leadership outside of the locker room? Because he doesn't just lead in the locker room, it's also outside of the locker room. He has done things with the Boston Bruins to help with hiring, bring in personnel, players, all of that stuff. He is not just a hockey player to me. He is also on that business side of understanding what organizations need. I think he'll have a big say, even though he hasn't even been in the organization that long, but his hockey mind and understanding personnel, what will help drive this team and keep their mindset where it is, keep that cohesion there from the front office, trickling all the way down to the players. He's going to be the man that's going to have to step up. He's going to. And I don't see there being any issue with that happening. And by the way, I wanted to share this with you guys as well. This is Matt Caldwell on his leaving the Florida Panthers. Okay, so again, a mutual parting of ways. These past 9 years as CEO of the Florida Panthers has been the highlight of my professional career. The Viola family has been a second family to me, and I'll be forever grateful for the opportunity to have led this historic franchise turnaround. I'm ready for my next challenge and couldn't be more thrilled to bring our champion mindset to the Minnesota community. The Panthers franchise is in great hands with the executive team and hockey leadership in place, and I will be cheering from afar as the team continues its championship run. So again, I don't know why some people are panicking. Oh, trouble in Pantherland. I don't see any problems here, guys. This organization is set. They have such a great front office, all the personnel that are there. I mean, the turnaround that you're going to see is going to be fine. Next man up mentality is not just about the roster of the guys that are on the ice. It's in the front office as well. It really is. If you want to do your research on who the next person coming up will be and their experiences and all of that, in any industry, in any profession, it's next man up. It's who are you willing to take a chance on? And every single one of these guys was taken, the Panthers took a chance on them, furthered their careers. They have made it. Now they're taking the next step in to a different situation that would be better for them. That's what we all do, guys. There's nothing wrong with this happening. There is nothing that is going to put this franchise in harm's way. They're still going to be winning. The mentality on the ice, the coaching that is there, Bill Zito's not going anywhere. Everything is fine in Pantherland. So don't look at this as something negative. It's good for these guys. Applaud what they've done for the organization. You should be thanking them, not panicking, and just say it is time for next man up. Let's see who will start to take the reins for the CEO and president position. Who is going to get up there and do the CRO work? How are we going to see these other guys with their ideas and their push and that ability to want to help this organization even further along than where it currently is, which I don't know how much higher you can get unless you literally win the next 3 championships in a row. But let's see what happens, guys. The panic button should not be hit. That may be later in the season if things fall apart, but we'll see. We're in the end of August. Preseason doesn't start yet. We're still a little ways away from that. So don't panic. All is well. And guys, anyways, thank you guys for joining me on this episode of Panthers Digest. Stay tuned. Tomorrow I will have a spotlight on a player that you guys are going to love, especially all of you who support Finnish players, excuse me. That is going to be a great episode you're not going to want to miss. About a 4-minute video, 5-minute video I'm going to be piecing together about one of the players on this team. You already saw one from Barkov, so you can cross him off your list. But another one is coming up tomorrow, so be ready for that, guys. Until that time, hit that subscribe button. Comment, share, like, subscribe. I really do appreciate all of your support. Have a wonderful Thursday, and go Cats.